First, thank you to Miss Pat for inviting me here and giving me the privilege to share with you a story about Ethan's journey through ChildFirst. So, Ethan was always a very curious, inquisitive child. I remember before he would start talking, he would crawl around the entire house, open and close all our drawers, open and close all our doors, because he wanted to see how the moving parts, the rollers and the tracks worked. He would try to take apart his toys. We try to start to do that. Take apart his toys to see how the individual pieces work also. So as both a parent and an educator, the educator in me would think, good, children should be curious. That's how they learn. Steve Jobs also say, your child should be curious all the way to adulthood. Don't let them lose this curiosity. But you also know as a parent, right? The parent in me was also thinking, there is maybe a limit to how many questions is a good number of questions. Especially after he started learning how to talk and he started asking. So when Ethan started doing technology classes at ChildFirst, that quickly became his most favorite thing in school. He had these polyclinic appointments and all these follow-ups that children need, right? He would make sure that we reschedule every single one of them so that he wouldn't miss a single one of his technology lessons. And when we started training for the competitions, like robotics competition you saw just now, we also couldn't miss any of them at all. So, we thought it was good. He found his passion, he found his interest. But then there was this one day, right, where we found out that he knew more about the names and the characteristics of all the little robots than he knew about the names and the likes and dislikes of his friends. So just now, Dr. Yen also shared, right, Harvard tells us that relationships are the most important thing to happiness. And I'm a bit old school, I still think that relationships have to be with actual living, breathing people and not with robots. So we are the wife and I are a bit concerned, but we're very glad that at ChildFirst, the robotics program, one of the things we try to infuse is teamwork. So all the robotics is done in teams. So we saw that Ethan, as time passed, he managed to learn a bit more about when it's time for him to step forward and contribute in his areas of strength, and when it's time for him to take a step back and let his teammates take a turn as well. We weren't actually there to see this happen, but we guess because when he started coming home, at first he would keep complaining about his teammates, then slowly he started talking more about the missions and the challenges that together they would have to solve together. So yeah, that was something that we felt was good. So, at this I want to share, I always remember, right, at the end of the robotics competition that you saw the video of just now, his long-suffering teacher of 3 years, Miss Stephanie, wrote him this card. I'll read from it, okay? So, congratulations, Ethan, I'm so happy for you. You proved to me that you can work with your differences to others, and look where it led you. Thank you for your hard work, effort, and teamwork. So I'm glad I'm with you in this journey. Keep shining. So I want to tell you that Ethan, Miss Stephanie is not the only one who's proud of you for all of that, okay? We're also glad that you learned teamwork. So in addition to teamwork, I think Ethan also learned some other very important skills from his robotics and his coding. Things like problem identification, problem solving, and critical thinking. So a few days ago, we were all in the car. I started to drive without putting on my seatbelt. Then Ethan said, Papa, you put your seatbelt, otherwise the car alarm will sound. So, maybe I was feeling cheeky that day. I used his favorite question and I turned it back on him. So I'm saying, how come I did that? So he actually thought about it for a while. Then he said, because it's dangerous when your car is moving and you don't have a seatbelt on. So the program will tell you with the alarm you have to put your seatbelt on. So maybe that day I was feeling a bit greedy, So I asked him again, how come I did that? How the car know? So he really thought about it for a little while more. Then he said, because there are sensors. The car seat has a sensor to know that you are sitting on it. The seatbelt hole has a sensor to know it's not in yet. The car has a sensor to know it's moving. So when the program knows that all these sensors are detecting these things and then you never put on a seatbelt, then you keep ringing the alarm to let you know that you must put on your seatbelt. So in education, right, we have this thing called the highest level you aim for is transfer of knowledge, where you take the skills and knowledge that you learn in one domain and you're able to transfer it to another new, different domain, preferably in an area where you can solve a real-life problem or find a real-life answer, find an answer to a real-life question. So and as parents, and I'm sure as teachers as well, the final thing that you want for your children is one day they're able to do things without needing you to do it for them or help them, that they can find the answers to their own questions. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say to the teachers and ChildFirst Hillview, also to the curriculum team working backstage behind the scenes, for teaching Ethan about sensors and programming logics and conditionals and if and then statements and loops, and teaching him how to apply this to find the answers to a real life problem on his own, so he can answer his own question as an educator and especially as a parent. Very, very big thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really heartwarming.